Right, to get this Freehub body off, this is the old Campagnolo Freehub body. Just need a 5mm Allen key to go in the end of the axle on one side, and then this is the cone that I want to remove on this side. I've just got a cone spanner, I think it's a 17mm end, and just loosen that off, and just want to lift all of those off as a set and put those down in order to one side, and the Freehub body just lifts off. So now that we've got our Freehub, new Shimano Freehub mounted, this one's a little bit quieter than the Campagnolo one that I took off, which I prefer. I prefer the quieter hubs. A bit more stealth. And this is our cassette, so this is a 4011 cassette. And then this final piece that goes on is a locking nut, and this screws into the end of the Freehub body. I've got a tool which looks like this, and that just allows us to tighten up the cassette onto the Freehub body. Now what we need to do as a final step is we need to torque this up. There's a torque setting on here which is 40, I believe these are usually 40 Newton meters. So we're going to get the torque wrench and just torque that up to 40 Newton meters. Right, that's it. So we're getting pretty close to the finish of this build now. Just got the chain to put on. Moment of truth really with the chain, because got this issue here. We've got the mountain bike cranks, and we've got it is a mountain bike cassette, but it's obviously a road bike with 130 width of the rear end and a 105 road derailleur. So the chain line of the cranks and the road derailleur don't quite match up. We've got 47.5 chain line for the cranks and probably 43.5 for the rear end, and I don't know how well that's going to stack up. I don't know if I can remove the spacer from the cranks and shove it closer, and whether this mountain bike derailleur will still work. Blah. I'll show you what I do in the end. So I've just tried in the setup on Big. Got the 40 at the moment, and this is a 116 link chain, and quite surprised it's short enough that I'd still have to remove a few links if I had the derailleur at this setup. Now, I'm not planning on ever using this gear combination, but I do want the chain to be long enough to be able to do it in the event of me accidentally forgetting I'm in the big ring and changing up into the 40. But obviously I never intend to do that. The only concern now is that the chain isn't going to be too baggy to run small, which is again another combination that I wouldn't want to do, but I'd want the chain to be able to do it without wrecking the bike. And this is what small looks like, 2811, and it is pretty tight under this second jockey wheel down here, so maybe I can afford to take another link out and have it even tighter on Big. Again, assuming that I'm never intending to run either of those two setups. Okay, so we're just going through the gears here. We're in the big ring, we're in the 40, and you can hear it's a little bit noisy, and that's all just completely a chain line issue. It's not rubbing on the derailleur here at all, it's just because the angle is so steep to get up into the bigger gears at the back. I've left the chain long enough that you can do big, so if I ever make a mistake and do that, it will happen, but I'm hoping the noise of the chain will alert me to the fact that I shouldn't be there. But there, you can see that it will do it. But it quietens down a lot more once I get down here. So that's what I'm hoping, is that this is pretty much where I'll be cruising for most of the riding. I'll be in the 40 and I'll be in these ones around about here. That's where I'll pretty much sit. And then for when I'm climbing, loaded, I'll be in the small ring, and again it will do small. It will do that quite comfortably, and the chain line's actually pretty good to do small. But got some super low gearing here, so you can see the wheel is, the rear wheel is hardly moving for quite a high cadence. So I'm really looking forward to being able to just absolutely crawl up hills fully loaded with this gearing. So that's it. That's the situation. Got some 28mm Continental GP4000s on here, and we've got enough room for some slimline mudguards at both the front and the rear. The front has got heaps of space. So let's get a seat on it and take it for a ride.